Hey, how y'all doing out there? I'm back with you with another video. Today I want to talk about the Note 8 in 2021. Now, of course, this phone was released in 2017, so it's been a little over 3 years. And, there's some people that still have this phone. There's some people that might be out there looking for a phone, and you might not want, one of the budget phones. You may want an older flagship phone, which this clearly is. This is a flagship device, fully loaded with everything you could want in a flagship device. Of course, it's missing just a couple of things, like these newer flagships have, but nothing that, you have to have, necessarily. So this phone, when it was released, was a top tier device. It did pretty well. My only issue with the phone really was they didn't put a big enough battery in it, and I know a reason for that was because of the Note 7 battery situation, and I guess they didn't want to take any chances with putting a bigger battery and something going wrong again, so they put a smaller battery in it. And also the one down firing speaker, which I was hoping they would put dual speakers on this device, which they didn't, and was very unfortunate because the one speaker, it was just okay. It didn't get loud enough, and the sound was just okay. So to me, and also the phone was a little narrow to me based on the previous notes, which were a little wider, and I prefer a little, wider device. But other than those are my only issues with the phone overall. But still, if you're thinking about getting an older flagship device, this is a good one to check out because the price is very, very reasonable. You can get a brand new one for like just a bit over 300. Refurbished under 300. Open box under 300. That'd probably be your best bet because open box is just basically the phone really hasn't been used. It just opened the box, checked it out, didn't like it, put it back in the box. So that's practically new. So you can get this for under 300, and you want it, you're interested in it, I would tell you to get it. But the only reason why I can't suggest this phone, overall, no more software updates, no more security updates. Now, if that doesn't matter to you, then there's nothing wrong with this phone. This phone, of course, it doesn't run as fast as it once did, but it still runs relatively good, honestly. I mean, it's a little laggy, unless you get it brand new, probably wouldn't be that issue. But overall, it's still a really, really good device. But just quickly, let me just tell you what you're going to get if you decide to get this phone. Now, it does offer a lot. I mean, a whole lot. When I say it's loaded, it is really, really loaded. All right, you're getting a 6.3 inch Quad HD Super AMOLED display with HDR10. Also getting 521 pixels per square inch and an 83.2% screen to body ratio. All right. So when you think about this phone and the build quality on this phone is really good. I mean, of course, it's a fingerprint magnet, but it has a nice, good thickness to it. It has a good weight to it. I mean, I'm telling you, this phone is really, really, really built well. I mean, really built well. No scratches on the display at all. Of course, got a little chipped crack down here because it was dropped one time without the case on it, so it got a little damage. But other than that, no scratches whatsoever on this phone at all, and it's built very, very well. Okay. Alrighty. So you're getting Gorilla Glass 5 on the front and on the back, which is a good thing. So it's built pretty good. You get an aluminum frame, of course. You're getting a 3D home touch button. Now, what that is right here at the bottom, see right here? When you touch it, you get a little haptic feedback, and that activates the iris sensor up there. I'll press it again. Let me go up. Okay, let me go back and press the home button. And see, it lights up the iris sensor. So that's cool. I kind of missed that with the Note 10 Plus because I kind of like that, but of course they replaced that with the ultrasonic fingerprint sensor, but I kind of missed that, but they took away the iris sensor, so I guess there was no point in having it. All right, next thing, so you get always on display, which you can see on the front there. You're getting a physical fingerprint sensor on the rear. This is before they started building them into the screen. Now, this was also a big mistake by Samsung to put the fingerprint sensor right next to the cameras, because you run the risk of smudging your camera. So that was not a good placement for it. With the Note 9, they fixed it when they put it underneath the camera. So that was a bad spot for Samsung. They messed up on that one. But the fingerprint sensor still works pretty well. It's not the fastest fingerprint sensor, but it still works pretty well, pretty accurate. It's not 100% accurate, but it still works pretty well. All right, you're getting face unlock. You're getting the iris scanner, which I showed you right here. As soon as you push this home button, you see it light up, and you look at it. Like I'm behind this camera, so it's not gonna really work, but it still works really well. And that's one thing I miss about my Note 10 Plus. They took away the iris sensor because they wanted to, get that bezel-less look. They want, people were saying they want more screen and they don't want a bezel. But I wish they could have still left a thin bezel at the top and still put a small iris sensor in there, because the thing about it, it was very secure. It was just as secure, if not more secure, than your fingerprint, and you can use it with Samsung Pay. So I really miss the iris sensor. I wish it was some kind of way they could bring that back, because I believe, without a doubt, Samsung, now I could be wrong, but I believe that Samsung was the only company that was using the iris sensor on their devices. And they had it on, I think, 3 iterations of the Note. Yeah, the Note 7, the Note 8, and then the Note 9, and then they dropped it. So that's unfortunate. But if you get this phone, you can open up this phone with your eyes. And I'm telling you, that's really, really secure, and it doesn't hurt your eyes in any way or anything like that. So that's cool. All right, you also get a heart rate monitor, which is on the back. This is something they also removed. See it right here? You just place your finger on there like that, and it will light up, and it would test your heart rate, your stress level, your blood oxygen level. And that's something also I miss on the Note 10 Plus, because they took away that too. So, but on here, you do still have the heart rate monitor. You also getting the LED notification sensor, which is not lit up right now, but it's up at the top. When you usually get a notification, it'll blink at the top up here. I don't know if I have it turned on or not, but it is on this device. For those of you that like the LED notification sensor as opposed to using always on display, because some people feel like the always on display drains the battery, so they rather use the LED sensor, or they don't want nobody to see what type of notifications they're getting, so they might just want the LED notification sensor as opposed to using the always on display. So it just depends on the person. I prefer to use the always on display because I can see the time, the date, the day, the battery percentage, and I can see my notifications. All right. So the next thing you're getting Android 9. Unfortunately, that's where it stops. No Android 10, no Android 11. It stops at Android 9. So no more software updates, no more Android updates on this device, unfortunately. Also, you only have One UI 1.0. So you only got, this phone only received the first iteration of One UI. It's not getting any more after that, and that's Samsung's operating system on top of Android. So you're only getting One UI 1.0. If you're fine with that, then you're good to go. Next, you get the Snapdragon 835, which was a good chip. Like I said, the phone is not, super slow or anything like that. So it has a flagship processor in it. However, it's an older processor, but it's still a flagship processor nonetheless. You're getting 64 gigs of internal storage, which was a good starting point at that time for this device. Now, however, if that's not enough, you do get expandable memory up to 256 gigs. So all you gotta do is drop a micro SD card in there, and you can expand the memory, and you're good to go. Next thing, you're getting 6 gigs of RAM, which is a really good starting spot. That's like the sweet spot for RAM, in my opinion. You're getting Bluetooth 5.0, NFC, a 32-bit audio, which, you have equalizer and all that. Samsung has a lot of ways you can adjust the sound how you want. And, their sound on their phones is really good when you plug in a set of headphones. Plus, you're getting Dolby Atmos with that. You get one downfire speaker, like I mentioned before. You're getting edge panels. Now, for those of you that may not know what edge panels is, I'll show you really quick. something I use all the time. These are edge panels right here. See right here, you get to see the scores. Get to see the scores and things like that. You got edge pair. So say if I press one of these, it'll automatically go into multitasking. And right here, I got Amazon up here, eBay down there. At the same time, if I want to check out different things, I could do it at the same time. You just press the middle, slide it up, and it just goes back to one, and then you go right back to the home screen. Also, you go in here, you got your apps edge. Here you got, oh, let me turn down the brightness. I think it's too bright. I got it maxed out at 100%. All right, sorry about that. Maybe y'all be able to see things a little bit better now. Now here you got your clipboard edge. I usually have scriptures in here that I use, that I want to look at again. But you can have photos in there and things like that. A lot of things can go on the clipboard. You got task edge. You got your people's edge. You press their face, and then you decide either you want to call them or you can send them a text message. It gives you that option. Then you got your weather, and then you back to the sports again. So I love apps edge. Edge lighting. Sorry about that, y'all. Oh God, edge panels. Okay. Now edge lighting is on here too, where the borders around the phone would light up, which is nice. Now it only does that when I'm getting a notification. So if you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. All around the borders of the phone light up. You could have it to light up different colors. You could have it light up different ways. You could have it whether it's a slow duration, a fast duration, medium duration. So they give you a lot of options when it comes to the edge lighting. All right, next thing, you're getting secure folder. Secure folder is really good because you go into the folder, you could put whatever app you want in there. If there's sensitive material you want to keep prying eyes out of, all you got to do is go inside secure folder. All the apps are in there. Like if you want to put the app in secure folder, you could do that. If you want to take photos and pictures, you could do it right from secure folder because the camera app is already in there. So after you finish taking your photos or your video and you stop, it'll automatically be saved to a secure folder. And the only way to get in there is through a password, a PIN, your fingerprint sensor, or your iris sensor. So it's very, very secure. Next thing you got, of course, you get Samsung Pay, which Samsung Pay is accepted pretty much everywhere. So you'll definitely love that with the MST, unlike the S21 Ultra where they removed it. You're getting a 3,300 milliamp battery. Now, the battery will definitely get you through a full day with light to moderate or moderate. But if you're a power user and you use the phone real heavy, you may not make it through a full day. I don't know. Everybody's usage is different, and it depends on how you use your phone. Now, when I'm using the phone, it's at 100% brightness. So I'll probably go through the battery a little faster, and I'm using everything at max. So that's just me. I'm using it at quad HD resolution, 100% brightness. I got pretty much everything turned on, every feature you could think of turned on. That's just me. I'm a power user. So, but for the most part, it'll definitely get you through a full day. Now, if you're shooting 4K video and all that, you're not going to make it through a full day. You're just not. So light to moderate and moderate to heavy, you'll still get through a full day. But if you're just heavy, you're going to have to charge this phone up before the end of the day. All right, you get fast charging 2.0, which you can charge this phone from 0 to 100 in an hour and 42 minutes. You get wireless charging, which will take you probably about 3 hours to fully charge, which is not a big deal, especially if you charge it overnight. So it's not a big deal, depending on who you are. You're also getting a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. That's something that is important to a lot of people. It's definitely important to me. I prefer a wired connection. When I'm listening to listening to music or videos, I prefer a wired connection because it sounds better. So for those of you that love the headphone jack, you don't have to worry about that. You have that on this device. Next thing, you get an IP68 water and dust resistance, so you don't have to worry about this phone getting any water damage. And with the cameras, you're getting a 12 megapixel. You're only getting 2 on the rear. You're getting a 12 megapixel wide with optical image stabilization, a 12 megapixel telephoto with optical image stabilization, and 2 times optical zoom. You're also getting an 8 megapixel wide selfie camera on the front. Now with the rear cameras, They shoot at 4K at 30 frames per second, and 1080p at 30 and 60 frames per second, and 720p at 240 frames per second. That's your slow motion. Now with the selfie camera, it shoots at 4K at 30 frames per second and 1080p at 30 frames per second. And the last and final thing is what makes the Note is the S Pen. The S Pen is what separates this phone from any other phone in the market. When you open it opens up your menu here. You got screen write, live message, smart select, coloring, create your note, write on your calendar. Now you could add a few. I added my YouTube Studio, my Bible, Samsung Pay, and translate. You could translate another language from text into English, if you need to. So those are just a few things that the S Pen could do. Now, this doesn't have Bluetooth and air gestures and all that. That was the Note 9. But this still does a lot of things. You could turn the phone off. Let me show you. You can do this, of course. And this is one a lot of people use a lot. And definitely comes in handy when you go back to this screen. You take the S Pen out. Right on the menu. And it feels really good and smooth. Okay? Then if you want to just erase that, all you got to do is go in here, press the eraser, and erase it. Okay? And then if you do write something, all you do is you write something. Let me go back to the pen. Say you want to write something, and then you just put the pen right back inside. It automatically stores it to Samsung Notes. So you don't even have to, store it yourself. You just put the pen back, it'll store it right to Samsung Notes. So this phone is still fully loaded. It's packed to the gills. I would get it either open box or brand new if you're still interested in it. And like I said before, if you don't care about software updates, Android updates, and also security updates, because unfortunately the last security update that this phone got was November 2020. So could I recommend this phone? I can't, only because of the software issue with the security updates and the regular Android updates. But if that doesn't matter to you, I would highly recommend this device because it is a flagship device and it's fully loaded and packed to the gills with a lot of stuff. Of course, it doesn't have a wide angle lens on it. No, it don't have that. But that's pretty much it, honestly, like for the things you really need for a device to do. Other than that, it has everything. Okay, it doesn't charge as fast as some of these newer devices, but that might not matter to you. You might be cool with just hour and 42 minutes, full. So you might be cool with that. So, like I said, if the software updates and the security updates don't matter to you, I definitely recommend this device. But if they do, I can't, because no security and no future software updates from Samsung or from Android. So I can't recommend it for those reasons. But like I said, if it doesn't matter to you, I definitely could. All right, thank you for taking the time to view this content. I do appreciate it. And I hope everybody's doing well out there. And I want to say thank you to all my subscribers. And once again, when we reach 1,000 subscribers, I will be giving away one of my smart phones. So keep alert for that. But right now, we're like 736. So we're moving along. So I do appreciate each and every one of you, all of you that have given me your support. And I hope you guys are staying safe out there. And I'll check you guys out in the next one. Peace.